new features in the latest Dandy's World update, Dyle certainly has to be one of the most unexpected and exciting. I mean, he's an extremely well-designed toon, and he is actually packed full of lore and secrets and interesting qualities. So today we're gonna unpack as much as we can about Dyle and see if we can figure out what his purpose is here at the Garden View Center. So buckle in, leave a like on the video, and comment anything you have in your mind regarding Dyle here. It's time to start. Well, as we know, we are first introduced to Dyle when we walk into the Garden View Center and we notice his shop here on the right. The lobby of this update has been completely redesigned for Dyle, so he's a pretty important character. His shop includes things like your skins, your stickers, your UGC, your Game Pass, and this new section called Gossip. We're gonna dive deep into this in a minute. That is in contrast to Dandy's shop, which only has the toon licenses, the trinkets, the Game Passes, and Gossip. So Dyle's shop is looking a little bit more stacked than yours, Dandy. How does that make you feel? Well, what's interesting about Dyle's shop here, you'll notice that he has tons of different switchboards and this lever that he doesn't stop pulling. And in the back, there's a string of what looks to be some sort of investigation that he was doing. And this investigation definitely involves iCore, because look at that right there. That's iCore. Wait, is there any way to read what's on these papers right here? I'm trying to shove my camera back here to see if I can read any of this. Oh my gosh, wait, I can kind of read this note. It looks like it says track. Does it say doc 4? Track something. He wants us to track something. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. Anyway, let's talk about everything we know about Dyle, at least the main story elements, and then we'll dive deep into the gossip and see if we can uncover anything else. The most interesting part about Dyle is that he was never intended to be used for the Dandy's World show. And we know that from this new radio transcript, number 042, where Dyle says, "I hate to interrupt this radio channel for childish questions, but I must ask something." And Arthur said, "Go ahead, I've got time in between meetings." Delilah's like, "Remember, this channel is for emergency contact, Dyle." "When will I take part in the show? Join the others? Hello? Have I lost connection? There's no plans of that actually happening, Dyle. Why don't you, me, and Delilah sit down tonight? Chat on it some." So Arthur literally said to him, "Yeah, bro, you're not welcome in the show." And it's not just that either. When you get 100% research on Twisted Dyle, this is the twisted description that you are met with. A character never seen within the show of Dandy's World. The one who operates and oversees Garden View's transportation. He's seen the outside. He's like, "I've seen the outside. You don't want to go out there, man." So it really seems like he was brought into the Garden View Center just to oversee all of the transportation and kind of, I guess, just deal with the trains. That's why he has all of these switches and stuff back here. And he has this lever that you'll notice. He'll do that, boom, and then a train will come up. Every time he flips this lever, a train will come up. But he does control who comes in or out of the Garden View Center, and that's a pretty important job, not gonna lie. You wanna come in here? You have to go through me. Or maybe he just lets everybody in, I don't know. But all right, let's switch gears and let's start visiting this section of Dyle's store called Gossip. We all thought Tegan was the one with the T, but no. It's Dyle. Unfortunately, though, it's on the top left of the screen, which is where my webcam is. So that means I gotta move over. Whoa! So this is what life is like over here. Well, not only does he have gossip on the toons, but coming soon, he's gonna have some gossip on the actual Garden View Center and the day, whatever that means. But let's start with what we got, which is the toons. What do you got for me, Dyle? "Oh, let me tell you about Flutter. She is truly lovely, but I can't help but wonder how far she could truly fly. Think about it. She can fly for so long, but how high up can she reach? Could she perhaps pass the clouds? I can only wonder." Well, the highest I've ever seen her fly is about yay high. Have you ever heard of this book club some toons are talking about? You have to be invited to such. So exclusive. It's a shame I'm far too busy to attend, even if I wanted to. Garden View depends on me to keep things running well. So does that mean that Dyle did not get an invite to this exclusive book club? And he's just like, "Oh, well, even if I was invited, I'm too busy anyway." Poor guy. "Don't tell anyone else, but sometimes I leave candy for Yada out by the trains. Just a little handful, but it's always gone by the time I return." Wait a minute. Is that why there's the text out there that says, "Find me"? And then if you follow the iCore footprints, there's a puddle of iCore right there, and then footprints that lead all the way over there to this puddle where the "Find Me" is, and then they lead all the way over into that door. So is that where he left the candy for Yada? Right in that puddle? And then she was attacked? Seems a little suspicious to me. I've got some time to chat. You know, Astro, that toon is always sleeping around in the oddest of places. Once I even found him sleeping on one of the many trains here in Garden View. I'm unsure of how long he'd be there if I hadn't woken him. Yeah, Astro's sleeping, not much of a surprise. Here's a little something to know about me. I don't like physical contact. I rather people ask before they go and hug me and whatnot. You know who loves to hug? Goob. I honestly don't have the energy to deal with his energy sometimes. To be fair to Goob, he doesn't really look like he's got a whole lot going on in the brain department up here, so give him a little grace, Dyle. I hope you're aware any earnings I receive from purchases go right back to Dandicus. I work alongside him. We're associates in a way. ... No, I'm not allowed to take tips. So I guess the money goes from me to Dyle to Dandy to Quell. Brusher once approached me and asked if she could paint me. I declined. There's no way I have the time to sit for hours and hold a pose. I may be Dyle Timesley, but I'd rather not waste that much time. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention earlier, his full name is Dyle Timesley. Yeah, that checks out. Time to spare? Well, I've got something I can share. And I'll tell you one thing for certain. That pet rock Dandicus has is fascinating. He recognizes all sorts of commands, though he doesn't just do them for anyone. I've seen him only do certain actions and trips for toons he prefers. Mostly tricks to cheer up Dandicus from what I've observed. Well, we do know that Pebble does grrr at a couple of the toons, like Bassie. I can appreciate someone like Tisha. She's actually very punctual. That is, unless she's cleaning, and, well, she cleans very often. Maybe she isn't that punctual when you think on that fact. Haha. One thing I can tell you for certain about Tisha is she do be cleaning. Scraps once asked me if I prefer dogs or cats. I answered cats, as otherwise I feel it would have been very awkward. But between us, I don't particularly like either. I prefer ponies. You know, I'm pretty sure I saw a picture of Dyle at BronyCon one year, so that checks out. Dandicus doesn't believe me when I tell him, but I swear, Connie is watching me invisibly at times. I'm told I may be simply paranoid, but I don't believe so. Yeah, I have a lot of questions about that, Connie. You care to explain, or? You know, I was never one for V's game show. And I'm not just saying that based on all the riveting stories Dandicus tells me about her. ... He definitely does not enjoy her company. What? Wait, so Dandy doesn't like V? Did we already know that? Am I just late to the party, or is that a new revelation? Because I did not know that. That's crazy. Why don't you like V? What's going on? V seems pretty nice. V seems chill. You know what? I'll admit something. I'm concerned for Glisten. The amount of times I've seen that mirror bump into things, well, it's concerning to say the least. I asked him if he was clumsy, perchance. He, of course, went on in that tone he uses. No, I'm Glisten. I'm perfect, not clumsy. I can see through that. What does he mean? I have no idea what he's talking about. Honestly, I'm not sure why we keep Shrimpo around. I've had intrusive thoughts of just taking him on a train ride one day. And that would be his last stop ever. Oh well, he wants to kill Shrimpo? That's crazy. I mean, I know he's angry all the time, but that's just his personality, okay? He doesn't deserve that. Phew, all right, what else do you got? Haha, I sometimes like to do my own small record keepings and investigations. I'm told I'm not allowed to be speaking with Roger. Oh, that's interesting. I guess that's why he has that back there. Those are his investigations, probably, but why is he not allowed to talk to Roger? What if Roger could help you with your investigations? That's a little sus. I cannot even fathom how anyone can pass by Gigi's room and not be concerned. I swear every time I pass by that room, she has more things. How many things could one have? How many collections warrant such? As somebody who's married to an avid collector, he just wouldn't understand, okay? It's part of the life. I've been looking through some old records at some point, letters and files, whatnot. You wouldn't believe how many letters I found of Shelley's. She'd go on and on writing to the Founder's Garden View, many writings of dinosaurs specifically. I swear there was possibly 5 bins worth of letters. Wait, what? We have got to find those letters. I want to read those letters. Tegan once requested to host one of her iconic tea parties on a train. Sadly, I couldn't allow that. But imagine the atmosphere. That's the best place for tea, aboard a train. Anything is better on a train, actually, except snakes. All right, well, I guess it's officially confirmed. Dyle is terrified of snakes. I've got something I can share. Blot randomly can be seen carrying that inky little sculpture he calls Junior. Not sure if he truly has any attachment to that little art project of his, but I keep seeing him recreate the thing. honestly a bit odd to me. Well, if you think about it, Blot does make Blot Jr. specifically to be attacked and destroyed by the Twisted, so I think it's safe to say he's not a big fan of Blot Jr. either. You know, Finn isn't terrible company. I'd argue I enjoy his company. I allow him to ramble on about his aquatic interests, and in return, I get to go on about my train interests. It's the perfect trade-off. Wait a minute, Dyle, is that you? You know, if you really think about it, a bubble called Poppy is a bit morbid. Maybe it's just me. Okay, yeah, honestly, that's a fair point. I agree with that. You know the circus bunch or whatever they call themselves? I wonder if such an unlikely group would be friends if it weren't for the fact that they work together. Honestly, I don't know if I'd consider anyone here even a friend. I consider everyone more of a coworker. Associate? I don't have the luxury of friends. Spoken like a true outcast. You go, Dyle. I can't help but feel a little bad for Toodles. The poor girl doesn't exactly have friends her age. Unless we count that kid she plays with around Halloween, though I wouldn't count such. Those holiday-themed tunes barely show around when it isn't their season. Wait a minute, did we just get an announcement for a Halloween tune is gonna be around Toodles' age? Maybe a younger, smaller, shorter character around Halloween time? Is that what that's talking about? Sounds like that's what that's talking about. I guess confirmed child coming this Halloween. Boxen's been up at night recently. Tells me he can't sleep when I ask him of it. I wonder if a music box ever needs his own music box to sleep. What an idea. But then would that mean that this music box's music box would need a music box to go to sleep? Think about it. I often actually chat with Sprout. Seeing as I apply fresh food here, there's a train that leads outside of Garden View itself. I ensure supplies end up here. Of course, no other tune is allowed on this specific train. You wouldn't imagine the things I have to do to ensure we get a few luxuries. Oh my gosh, so there's a train that only Dyle is allowed to go on? Like no other tune is allowed to ride this train? Does that mean that tunes are allowed to ride other trains? Why would tunes ride trains? That's a really interesting fact right there. I have no idea. You tell me. Have you seen the twin masks, Razzle and Dazzle? Children used to get their names mixed up, but I've heard they both really enjoy their names. Can't say I hate my own. Dyle really suits me. This may sound a bit silly to you, but Dyle Timesley is my full name. Well, I guess it's good to know that Dazzle can be happy about something, then. He likes his name. That's good to know. Well, that is officially all of the gossip that Dyle has for us at the moment. We still have a whole bunch of gossip that we can go through and visit from Dandy, but we'll do that at another time. This is definitely not all there is to know about Dyle. Dyle has a whole bunch of lore hidden throughout the Garden View Center, and we're gonna uncover it all. So if you know anything that I don't know, let me know down in the comment section below. Everything you know about Dyle, or really about anything about Dandy's World, let me know down in the comment section below, because I wanna find out the truth. I want to find out the truth. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video of going through Dyle's gossip. If you did, please leave a like rating down below. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. And if you want to see more from me, go and check out the video that Brusha is looking at right now. I hope you all have a fantastic, wonderful, and beautiful rest of your day and rest of your week. I will see all of you next time for the next Dandy's World video. Goodbye.